Hey, 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 hey.
Aloha!
All right, there we go. So I'm just going to go around again and let everybody introduce themselves. By the way, this is the Wesley Center at Chattanooga's Dog and Doctrine. Am I on?
Yes.
I'm on.
Good job.
Like, no.
A little far,
I'm there now? No? Okay, good. We're there. All right, so anyway, this is the Wesley Center at Chattanooga's Dogs and Doctrine. We just got done feeding a bunch of people hot dogs, and people have been in and out. And so we're continuing today our conversation about the Apostles' Creed. And today we're on the line, He ascended into heaven. So we're going to talk about that. If you're watching and you got a question, post it. I'll try to keep an eye on the questions popping up. But I'm going to go around the room first and let everybody introduce themselves.
Hi, Melanie.
I'm Stuart.
I'm Beth.
Cameron.
And I'm Justin.
And there's the Dogs and Doctrine logo, isn't that? That's just perfect. So anyway, He ascended into heaven. Anybody got any questions about that or observations? Anybody?
Shane.
I'll say, I don't know that there's a whole lot really to be said about the line, except that we've spent so much time, we've spent so many lines and therefore so many weeks talking about the lines that are in place to make sure that we know that he's dead, like Jesus actually died, and emphasizing over and over and over again that he actually died, that this line is in place to say he ascended alive. Like and will come again, but he's ascended alive. So not only have we spent time emphasizing his death, but he's still alive, even today. And so that's, to me, why that line is there.
Yeah.
And they put so much emphasis on his death and that he actually died, then rose again, and he lives still today. We use that in our our communion liturgy too.
Yep. Well, what other? When we talk about people in the Bible, what other occurrences of people ascending into heaven do we know about? Do we see show up in Scripture? Oh, Stuart's got it.
I can't remember his name though.
Elijah.
But, yeah, Elijah's one of them. But
Elijah.
there's the one guy in the book of Genesis going through that whole genealogy. You got the name?
I
Enoch.
do.
Enoch. She's got my back.
Yep.
Yeah, Enoch basically says he followed in the footsteps of God, and God, took him away.
Does it literally say that he ascended, or that God?
No, it did not say literally ascended.
Yeah.
It just says.
It just doesn't say he. It doesn't say he died.
It says he was
doesn't
no
say-
more.
It says he was no more.
Yeah.
Because God took him.
So
But yeah, Elijah's really the
Not a
big
bad
one.
name.
Elijah's the big one.
the big one. Yeah.
Allow.
So, and that's the sort of he ascends on the chariot of fire, right?
Yes, Elijah is, yeah.
Yeah.
You will never get a better ride than a chariot of fire.
Got flames on it.
Literally.
So, what other you look like you're about to say something.
Well, I think one of the things that we can take away from this is that when Jesus died, dying is something that humans do. And when he rose again, he was still human. And in essence, we have a human representative sitting beside God.
Mm-hmm.
And in essence, what we have is God, the finite, embracing us, the finite.
Ooh.
I prepared.
Wow.
You
You
did.
read ahead.
I read ahead.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
no, it's not really reading ahead if it's like this week's topic.
Oh, that's true. In other words, you studied.
That's right.
That's a really good way of putting it, though.
Just Googled it. Yeah, that's good.
I think one of the other things about it is that one of the things that I think of with the ascension is that's Jesus truly passing the torch. We've seen on a different couple of occasions where he tells disciples to go out and do something or get something, do some work, and I think this is really the point where he's saying this is the point where I'm handing the torch to you. You guys are now, truly, my disciples, my actors on earth. I will, I'm giving this to you to go out and do. I will eventually come back in full glory, but until that time, you guys are essentially in charge. It's but I'm giving it to you to go out and continue my work in the world. And we get that funny image that I like in my head, which is all the disciples are just kind of thinking he's going to come back in 5 minutes. They're just staring up into heaven.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, then you get like two angels, like just a couple angels.
Get
And it's like,
together.
hey guys, he didn't mean like 5 minutes. It's going to be a while. Go out and do some stuff.
It's like he's like, you guys are such literalists.
I have always appreciated that story because how many times in our own faith, in our own life, you like you like struggle or get confused about something, and if the disciples who walked with him are confused, like okay, and it's a kind of a funny image. I mean, it's meant to be serious, but you just Christ going up into the clouds, and then all the disciples are like, cool.
How long do you think it's going to take?
Like,
Yeah.
And if the people who were with him struggled with that, then how much more comforting should it be when we struggle with it? We're not alone in that. And every so often we need somebody to come along and be like, get it together.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine, but you got to go do your thing. You can't just keep staring into the clouds.
Just picture them all standing around looking up and crickets chirping in the background. Like,
Exactly. But I do appreciate that text
Ye
a
olde
lot
crickets.
because
Yeah,
we get confused and we struggle in our own faith, and so it's an example of how even the people who knew Jesus struggled with his words and what he had to say. So it's a funny image.
Yeah, and I had something, I think last week had some kids that were asking about, what it means to be end time, new heaven, new earth, going through that thing. But I use that passage to make the key point that Jesus was making. It's like, the kingdom of God, I mean, yes, there'll be eventually, like, everything will be made perfect, but the kingdom of God is not just that far date, it is now, and it is in, he's given us the power to do so, and I think that kind of illustrates it. Don't just sit around your butt waiting for him to return. He's gone for now, we have some work to do until he comes back, and that's our job, is that work. And that's what, several times both he and some of the other, writings of the New Testament try to emphasize that we got some work to do now. That's our job, is to take care of stuff now. Whenever he comes back, that's God's cause. It's not for us to really worry about.
anybody else?
Yeah, I think it was Jesus who said that you can do greater things, but it's going to be with me, not here. It's going to be with the help of the Spirit. And I have to go before the Spirit can come, is what he said. So before the disciples could go out and do those greater things, he had to ascend.
Yep. Anything? we have like a powwow over here.
I'm catching up to speed.
Okay. Getting them up to speed.
Yeah, explaining what we're talking about.
We do have this week's highlight of the hot dog, if you're...
Yes. Look at this. In all its glory.
Mustard and ketchup.
Yep.
That's what we're really here for.
Yeah. That, and like right now, it looks like there's a huge cup of coffee
All right.
that you guys could actually fit into a frame.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we're kind of tapped out.
Well, I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's kind of a straightforward line. There's a little bit around it, but it's important enough that we do reference in the communion liturgy, and it says Christ has died, Christ is risen, which is present tense, and Christ will come again. And sometimes we say liturgy and we just say it and we don't think about what we're saying, but that line to me is extremely important in referencing ascension, or at least the idea of Christ is still alive and has ascended. I mean, it's important enough that we have this one line in our Apostles' Creed, in the creed that we say every Sunday, but it shows up in communion, it shows up in other places as important, as proclaiming kind of what we believe. Christ is still alive today. Christ and Christ will come again.
Is it really
alive.
is risen?
It is, isn't it? Isn't that confusing?
I've always been saying has risen.
Yep.
No, yeah, because it's present tense.
As I grew up, I used to say that, and it's hard to, you've got a whole congregation mumbling, Christ,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if you really pay attention, that's why I encourage, when we're doing liturgy, even in Apostles' Creed, when I encourage people to take the book out. I have the hymnal with me when we're saying creeds, when we're saying the liturgy, regardless of what I have memorized. To me, that grants permission to the congregation then also to look at it and see these aren't just words we're saying, because you can mishear them, and you can misunderstand what it is, but it's Christ is risen in his present tense, and for a reason.
Yeah.
for a
Okay.
reason. I think
I mean-
that echoes this line.
Like, I mean, you sometimes see it written about, sometimes on like the walls of the church or something, Christ is risen. But I'm usually thinking of that as like, you know, when when some of the disciples discovered the tomb was, you know, unlocked and realized what had happened. That's what I associate that directly with, rather than us still saying is risen.
Yeah, it is. Well, and we talk about it, we're in Easter, you know, and we say we're Easter people, and we say Christ is risen on Easter, declaring it boldly. But if we're Easter people, it's all the time.
Yep.
I learned something today.
Yeah,
I hope you did too.
Oh, smooth.
dropping some knowledge. No, it's cool.
Sound effects are free.
Oh man, that's
I like it. So,
Well,
yeah.
if there's, I think we've kind of like. You guys have anything?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Well, this is a short one today, but Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed, and He has ascended into heaven. So, I thank you all for being with us this week, and I'm going to pan around the room once more and let everybody say goodbye. And we hope to see you here next week. We only have a couple more Dogs and Doctrine for the rest of the semester. We do them during the semester here at UTC, but. Just tune in and keep watching our Periscope channel for the Wesley Center, because we'll maybe be adding some more stuff. Start posting some other things. Wait a second. I got to turn the camera around because Stuart is pointing at me.
Oh, I was just gonna say we're gonna work on trying to put those onto YouTube, right? Some of the old
Yes.
ones. So keep on the lookout for that.
Yep, some of our back issues are going to show up on YouTube. This one, we may have to figure out a different way to access it, because I just realized I don't have enough storage on my phone today to actually store this to my camera roll. So we're going to have to find out an alternative method to get this one posted. But anyway, so everybody say goodbye.
Adios.
holla.
Good day.
Goodbye.
Good morrow.